I can't hear you. Is your microphone on?
Got it. Okay. Wow, I haven't done that before. Usually that's the first thing it asks me, like audio. Well,
Right?
so happy to see you.
I know.
Hello.
I feel like it's been forever.
It
You
has.
look fantastic.
Thank you. Wow. Thank you. You too. Man, I love the moons. Woo.
Thanks. I thought I'd be moony today.
I love it. Okay, let's do a formal introduction. So this is Sue, and you're with Twyla, and we're doing our little Twyla Talk series. We may have a little guest show up at some point, don't know. So, yeah, so let's catch up. Holy cow. Oh, you got some smoke going on over there?
Yeah, I got some incense going. It's been a busy, crazy couple of weeks. Oh my God.
Well, that looks so mystical. I love it.
Thanks.
What a nice effect. I love it.
Right? I didn't think it would be that good, but it looks pretty good with the fancy lights. So that's
Really
exciting.
neat. Yeah, so where do you want to start? Like we have a lot to catch up on.
Oh my gosh. I think we should definitely start with a little meditation, I think.
I think that's perfect. Perfect. Okay. You want to do it?
Um, Not really, no.
Okay.
I'm
All
not
right,
good
let
at
me do.
leading meditation.
All right, I'll do my white light one. So let's get started with everybody just kind of taking a deep breath, holding it for like three or four, and then just exhaling out through the mouth. Let's bring in that beautiful white light energy filling our lungs. We're going to bring it all the way down to our legs, through our feet to Mother Earth. Give her a little hug and a little bit of gratitude. We're going to bring that light right back up through our center, all the way up through our crown chakra. And then we're going to expand in our electromagnetic system all this love, love, love. And we're going to ask for protection. I'm going to ask Regina to come in and make sure that all of us are protected, those who are listening to us, ourselves, and our whole show, everything. So thank you, Regina. And I try to keep it short so that way we get right to the point. So with that, let's go.
Yeah. So tell me what's been going on with you.
Oh my God. So like after you and Soul 2K and Ingrid were showing me, the hitchhikers, and I like to have this big aha moment that, oh my God, all these years that I've been trying to get through my childhood stuff. There were times maybe it didn't have to be so hard, but I wasn't aware of it. Like, there's things I naturally had to go through, but the all of a sudden the awareness of these things are real. These negative entities are real, and they will do what they need to do to either wake you up to bring you to your higher self or to, I don't know what the other or is. I just know that it's taken me a long time, and it was through you and Soul 2K and Ingrid that kept at me because I literally was at a point, I think I texted this to you, where it was so bad. I knew, like they say now, everything that doesn't resonate has to fall away. I knew that. But it's different when it actually starts to happen and you see it and everything that you knew is going away. And I was like, oh, now it's my turn. Oh, now it's my turn. But I felt like I had a little chip on my shoulder because I'm like, you know what? All these years, I've never had like proper healing or proper therapy or whatever for what I went through. I minimized it myself and I said, I can just get through it. I can just get through it because A, B, and C didn't happen, and people would try to tell me, give me a phrase for it and all that. And I'd be like, no, 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 it's cool. I know soul contracts. And because I had that spiritual one eye open, I didn't go through the human process. I didn't address the things that my human needed. And so all these soul processes I went through um were fine, I mean, I had to go through all that. But the poor human is kind of like, but I'm still stagnated from when I was, 5 years old, 6 years old, seven, eight, nine, whatever. And then I'm finding myself going, oh my God, I still have to catch up to myself. I still have to go through those processes and bring my little person, you know, up to being an adult. And that's exactly where I'm at right now, where I'm like, okay, so all the old stuff fell away, going away, and you guys kind of saved my butt, is how I'm gonna say it. And then um the other trio, well, pair who did the healings for me brought me back into reminding myself who I was as a soul. But now I'm just kind of sitting here going, uh, now what? Now I have to be the human, and I didn't know how to be the human in the first place. I was always alter identity, all being who everybody wanted me to be because that's how I survived. And now it's like all that's gone, and I'm just like, it's just me now. What do I do? Like, am I still the artist, or was I the artist because I had to survive? And so those rushes of creativity were to keep me on the earth instead of trying to commit suicide or something, right? Like, am I still the artist, or was that a coping mechanism I was given? I don't think I'll ever not be the artist, but it's that thing where I don't know. I don't know anything right now. And I think that's the point we're all supposed to get to at some point. So that kind of like it's
Yeah.
a brief where I was, like really where you came into my life and where I was headed, like, really going downhill. And you guys are all like, no, we got you, So yeah,
I think that's really interesting because I think we focus so much, or, well, I know we all focus a lot on healing our past lives and the damage that that brings into this current life. But quite often, what I notice in a lot of us is that we forget that we also have to heal this life. It's not just the ones past, but
yeah,
also this life, and the
yeah.
correlations between the traumas and the existences as children that we have are not just about the experience we've had in those past lives, but also in this
No,
life. And we get so blinded by, okay, I've got to heal these past lives. I've got to let go of these fears. I've got to move past these blocks. But a lot of times we do that and we're still blocked, and we're like, why are we so blocked? What is
yeah,
going on? And
yeah.
it's because we haven't healed ourselves in this life, and we've kind of forgotten about those human experiences
I
that
did.
have to get us to the point where those doors really open.
Because I remember being in such survival mode, and I know you understand about that too, being in such survival mode that you don't have time, and because you carry yourself well, you're intellectual or something like that, nobody thinks there's any problems or anything going on, but you're putting this self in front of the world that you're like, well, nobody will see this part, right? Just put this self out front. And because I always say, because I had, like you did, one eye open or two eyes open to the spiritual world, it's like, well, I know this is a soul contract, so I know it has to be. I know there's a reason for all of this. So it's like I bypassed all of the human stuff. And now I can't anymore. And the two were kind of crashing, and I'm like, I can't take anymore. Between the entities that are hanging off of me, sucking the life out of me, and everything crashing down behind me, and then me not having fixed the human or having healed the little me in this lifetime, I was just like, all right, I give up. I'm done. Like, nobody gave me the manual. I've skipped around all the pages and I still haven't gotten it right, even though that's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just got frustrated, just got like, like we need to just spell it out for people. Like, what do we need to do when we first get born in this lifetime and we're old enough to understand, like what are the steps if we're going to go through hardship? But that takes away from the game, doesn't it?
It really does, which is so interesting. Like, you really have to be tough to come to Earth. I'm sorry, but people, you just have to be a different level human to be in the human world. I mean, you really have to be a tough soul, and your body has to be tough. This is not an easy experience. It's not an easy learning experience. It's not
No.
a fun learning experience.
No, because it's almost like you
And I'm so grateful to be human.
I
But
think
like
I
also
yeah.
it's hard.
I'm
It really is.
only now understanding, or like I've always had a grateful heart because I didn't go through some of the hardships that other people did. You know what I mean? So but it was the same thing that I was doing with the abuse situation where, well, this didn't happen to me, so it's okay. Instead of like healing it and then going, no, step into your higher self and then think bigger. You know what I mean? It's like such a process to go from that little person who's like, no, no, I'm okay. I'll be all right. I'll figure it out. And you don't, you just try to muddle your way through. But I literally just got so tired of the stops and the starts, the self-sabotaging. Literally, I just finally reached that point where I'm so mad at myself, but I know I can't be. Again, it's like just the human emotion where it's like, okay, just let the human be human. Just let the human be human. Just let her be angry for a minute. And then, this spirit side will kick in and be like, okay, you know why, da 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 da, you know? So it's almost like not knowing is almost feels better, like if you're completely, you know, but then it's still going to catch up with you at some point. That person is going to be like, their stuff will start to, the seams will start to crack, let's say. But tell me more about what's going on with you.
Oh my gosh, I have had some crazy things happen recently. Much like many others, a lot of cycles are coming to an end. And I've really found that a lot of these cycles are family and relationship related.
Bingo.
Um,
Mm,
for me, it's my stuff with my mom.
yeah.
Um, that's really hard. Um, it's just hard because you love your parents, but you're also like, these are such detrimental things. And then you
Mhm.
see all the past lives that play in. So Ingrid taught me how to tap. So I've been doing a lot of tapping, a lot of releasing.
Good.
Um, it's been rough, I'm not gonna lie. It hasn't been a pleasant journey. Um, but I am noticing that each time with the more tapping and the more releases I let go of, and I feel better, I'm more motivated,
Hmm.
I'm making healthier decisions. And I've noticed that like readings for people have become easier, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I tend to get more mediumship than I was getting. And it's a lot less like before, it was very, okay, this is about you, your personality. These are some challenges you may face. Where now I'm like, these are the past lives you need to heal. This is why you need to heal them. And this is the person that's coming forth to me. And this is the message they have, which is for
Wow.
me, yeah, it's much more fluid. Usually it's always been kind of like messy, like I've always been chaotic. My
Hmm.
readings are like bounce here, bounce there, bounce here, bounce there.
Yep.
And now like for example, like tonight I'm sensing a motherly older woman that wants to come through, maybe even grandmotherly, but I definitely feel like she has messages of healing in regards to communication, um self-worth, and pressures of perfection, especially related to aesthetics. So I'm going to assume this woman is for you, either
Oh,
your mother or your grandmother, but I really feel the mother that M is very prominent.
there's another one that I think it might be, and this would be my partner's mother. She went by the name of Jean, and we had lifetimes together. And even though I felt like in her presence, I always felt accepted, but I knew that like I had that whole mantra before where I'm the spoiled kid, like spoiled in a bad, like um shame, you know. But when I was around her, I didn't feel that, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling like that might be her at this point because I have not heard from her. She passed in 2011. Um, it's my feeling that it's
So
her, but I'm not saying for sure.
I'm definitely hearing that these are not issues that you have with her. These are issues that she needs you to see and understand in regards to your own mother and the
Okay.
pressures and that she put on you.
Okay.
I get the feeling like your mom was very scrutinizing
Mm-hmm.
and very belittling and degrading and ooh, like angry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like these were her own feelings that she put onto you. And I know we were just talking about you sitting with yourself and like,
Mm.
so she keeps saying this time for reflection, and accepting and loving all of the parts of you. I'm getting like, I'm shivering right now. I don't know why.
Wow.
Um, and I don't know. I feel like there was a very traumatic event that happened with your mom when you were like between like 10 and 13, like maybe
Yeah.
12.
She choked me. Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. Like,
Yeah. She
so
she had her hands around my neck and she was choking me in front of my boyfriend at the time. I started seeing when I was 14, and his sister was with me, and she was in the hallway, and she got mad at me for something, and she just wrapped her hands around me and just started choking me in front of her. I think I was more humiliated that I had company than than what she was doing, but
yeah,
yeah.
it's very much so like she just wanted you to be quiet. Just shut your mouth. She's
Yeah,
very I get the feelings that your mom is a very aggressive, angry. She hates herself. She puts that on you and
yeah,
tries to make you feel less than worthy of love and affection. And I feel that this really affected you in like not only developmentally, but like in your relationships with friends and family. And it that's where, the communication between you and you, if that
yeah,
makes sense, like me, myself, and I,
yeah,
um, that was a period of breakdown of those walls, which is why you separated so much into these personas. But no, so the point of this, okay, the main point of this is that the creative part of you, that's like your core.
yeah.
So, like, that's what radiates out.
Mm-hmm.
So, don't question whether or not you're creative because that's one of your main
Okay.
pillars. Okay, so it's a main pillar.
Okay. Ingrid did that. I can say that Ingrid said that my creativeness was from an ancient line of creators who, were artisans and creators. So
Yeah.
I'll take that. Maybe I was questioning myself, but I don't ever want to be separated from that energy. I mean, if that's who I
Yeah.
am, I embrace it. I love it. I don't want to be without it. But thank you
Your
for,
imagination is very important, so don't ever lose that.
yeah.
Okay, well that
Wow.
just came out, so enjoy
Well,
that.
thank you very much for that. I know we did another a while back. She came through too, and it's helpful to have these check-ins or whatever if that she's coming through again because
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
She's very spunky and fun.
Everybody loved being around her, but it's like this. It's like when we learn about our soul, our spirit, and our personality, that they are components of us. So behind closed doors, she could be one way, but then, of course, with the kids in the neighborhood, she had, in other words, you can't lie about love. Your heart
Yeah.
radiates what it radiates. And even as much as I've tried to little myself, my son said to me one time, he's like, but you just radiate love and we feel it. I could be feeling like crap. Like, I don't even, like whatever, but the heart doesn't lie. And so
Yeah.
whoever you are as a soul, whatever your heart is what people are feeling. And so people would want to be around her. Like the kids in the neighborhood always flocked to her. She was like, I don't know, like their mother too, but in a good way.
Yeah. Like that warm
Yeah.
grandma-y, motherly, like I have cookies. Oh, you haven't
Yep.
eaten today.
Yep.
I'll make you a sandwich. Like just very almost wholesome. Very
Yeah,
wholesome. Like she has a very wholesome, fun energy, I guess. I
yeah,
don't know. She's
yeah.
very
She loved
pink.
sense of humor. Then when we got to be teenagers, she was like the mother that would teach you about sex if your parents wouldn't. So that was the other part
Yeah.
of her, where it was like she had the right idea about uh sex and sensuality, but there were also some components in there that were misaligned. Um, but the good parts were the parts where she put a positive twist on it, even if the tools or the modalities that she may have introduced were not, you know. But yeah, so that's another aspect, I guess you'd say. But
Yeah. That was very interesting. I'm sorry, that just came out. I
no,
don't know where that
no,
came from, but this is like how it's been the last couple of days. It's been very like just stuff comes out for no reason.
it's funny because I was feeling Jean because I think that in a sense she to me was like the ideal mother, kind of like, whereas I had
Yeah.
mine that I couldn't, we couldn't, except for the birth of my son, we just, bypassed one another. We couldn't make that connection. But Jean was always, I think, the mother that I wanted. If I,
Yeah,
if I were to pick one, I would say she just had all the right parts and the direction and the no, non-judgment and the maybe it's just because she wasn't my mother at the time and my mom and I of course had a soul contract to go through all of this stuff or whatever, but she just what to me was the epitome of a good mom or whatever. I don't know if that's fair to say, but I don't know how else to word it, but
I
anyway.
feel like for her, she very much so thinks of you as a daughter. Like for her, in her mind, she's always going to present you to a reader as your mother or your grandmother. Because those are that's her feeling and that's her like what she thinks. And um I definitely get the sense that she's enjoying this 180 you've made, which
Oh,
is very, I think, special. And I get the sense that like she's just like, damn, it took you so long. Like
I don't know if it's because I'm stubborn or that when you struggle and you just know how to endure, it's both. I knew how to suffer really well and I knew how to endure suffering really well. You know what I mean? It's like somebody could
yeah.
probably hand me the keys to the castle, but I'm like, oh no, I got to go through the moat first and climb up the walls and, you know, go through the horse muck and this and that. Oh no, I can't just be given the keys. So I think that,
Yeah, I feel like I don't I feel like you've never really like known like true happiness. And I feel like this is what you're learning now.
yeah, I haven't. During that healing that I had, it was really intense because I was told that I had been holding sadness for the collective for so long. And when I first met Ingrid, I mean, that's the big thing. Like every time when she was teaching me that I had channel drawing abilities, I was just drawing gray clouds, and she could feel just this overwhelming sense of sadness. And in that healing, that was removed from me, that was taken from me in a beautiful way. And it's almost hard for me to talk about those that came in because it's almost like they can come in for anyone, but it was just the fact that so many of them came in for me. It was just like, oh my God, I'm worthy of this. But anyway, so yeah, that's what I was told is that I had been holding uh just sadness for so long, so many years. My innocence was lost in so many lifetimes that it's just been it's hard. It was ever hard to see that this life would turn out good at all.
I think it's really magical because not only do you look more like your higher self now, or at least I see it. I don't know if anybody else is, but I can definitely see it. Um, but it's also you when I used to read for you, you used to come with this heaviness.
Yeah. Yes.
Like if there was a mountain on your shoulders and your head and it was just pushing you deeper and deeper
Yes.
into the earth, and
Mm-hmm.
like only your head was sticking out, but you had
Mm-hmm.
this giant mountain on top of your head,
Yeah.
and it's a totally different feeling now.
Oh,
uh,
I feel like that definitely when that happened and that was lifted off of me, I felt like a lightness, a freedom, like a just something I'd never felt before. I just sat in bed or laid in bed and I was just like, what is this? Like, oh my God, like being released from prison or having the shackles taken off. And like, oh my
yeah,
God, so now what do I do with my life? I've only known suffering. So, and I know not to create new suffering. So like,
yeah,
you imagine that just coming out of the forest or something. You've been in the forest your whole life, wandering around trying to figure out whatever. And then all of a sudden you walk out into civilization, you're like, huh, now what? Like, is
yeah,
this
right.
yes, it has to be good because I've already been through eons of the dark. I've already held sadness for the collective, apparently, so that, we can lift that, we can take that from me now. Yay. you know?
I'm really happy though that you've like it, just like I don't know how to put it into words other than like your face is slimmer, your hair is shinier, your eyes are more vibrant, your smile is whiter, your shoulders are like higher. I don't know how to put this into words other than to like describe to you. Because so I've always like seen people as their like true or higher selves,
hmm
which is like I don't know, I just think it's one of my favorite things. But like you look totally different to me in the best way, and I feel
Wow.
like for the first time in your life, in this human life, and probably I think in a lot of your other roles, I know that you're finally getting to know yourself.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and the good self, not the sabotage. I'm gonna take you down because I don't want to know who you are because I'm afraid to find out. What if it's good? You can't have it good. So
Yeah,
yeah, I the last 2 days have been my only days of sort of being a little uncertain, a little like maybe it was the energies coming in. Like as the human, what do I do now? As the human, like what do I focus on? Where do I put my attention? You know what I mean? Because that's what creates our reality. But just asking that question is just like when you're, and I hate to keep saying this, but like, when you're ADD, there's like a million choices at one time. It's like
yep,
everything's right there and you're like a buffet and you're just like, oh, what do I do first? So,
yeah. I feel like I know we've talked about this, but I feel like that plan that we talked about the last time we texted,
mm-hmm.
I feel like it's like almost like you're gonna be like flooded, like flooded. Like there's gonna be like now that these cycles have ended, I feel like you're very much so gonna find that all of a sudden that you have all these opportunities and they're just like rapid firing at you.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but I feel like that's gonna really like motivate you. Like the universe is gonna be like, this is your kick in the butt. We're not sitting down anymore. We're not taking it lying down.
Mm-hmm.
We're 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 kicking its keister. Yeah, very much so.
Uh,
But I'm super excited for you. Like I know remember we did your palm reading and I was like later in life it's coming, and you were like, oh, that's not that far away, and I feel like we're finally right on the cusp of that beginning, and I'm
yeah.
like, yes, I knew it.
Yeah, I was being tested with some of that information too. And I was like, oh my God, don't let it be, with that one aspect there, karmic person, karmic twin flame person, but none of it. I
Oh
absolutely
yeah.
nothing. There is nothing left in of a bad nature anymore. And I'm just like, whew. So that's been a big, oh. Okay, we'll end in 10 minutes. So we got 10 minutes left on this one, and then we can go again. Oh, how's everything going on your end with life itself? I was so excited to hear about your ideas and
It's good. It's kind of been so my husband was laid off from work and now he has three jobs and has to make decisions. And I got my first email client, I got my first Facebook client. I started at a new shop. So now I'm at two locations. Um, I'm building a website and
oh,
yes, and then I'm working on hopefully a store in the future. I really wouldn't call it a store. It's more of a
yeah,
supply and healing. It's a healing center that is also for um spiritual beings who need tools, I guess.
I like that.
Um yeah, and since I like started to make a plan with that, it's been like rapid fire. Like it's just been like I've been up since 8 o'clock this morning and I haven't this is the first time I've sat down today.
Oh my God.
Like it's been so busy. I've been like planning readings and I'm um researching things. I'm reading a lot more. It's been so awesome. And I'm like getting outside and walking, which I've never been one of those fitness people, as you can see.
No, no,
Um,
no, we don't judge.
but now I enjoy taking a nice walk and I've been putting my hands in the earth. And I used to be this, so this is a funny fear that has gotten significantly better recently is I used to have a fear of my bare feet in the grass.
I remember you mentioned that once. Yeah.
Yeah, the texture, I don't know, the way it felt just felt icky. I don't know. I just didn't like it.
Mm-hmm.
And but I love to be barefoot. Like I'll walk on the pavement and the sidewalk, but I won't walk on the grass.
Uh-huh.
But I'll walk on like mulch just fine or rocks or the beach, but not grass. So now
Right.
like grass is starting to be okay. And I'm
Well,
just like, huh, what's
did you,
that about?
I know, did you ever ask into that to see like was there something that happened? Maybe?
Um, I did a couple weeks ago and it was a very so I got like a vision. So I'll tell you about my vision because it's very weird. So I saw a fire, like a fireplace, an old wooden fireplace with the lantern in the center, and that thing that holds the pot, like that
Yeah, yeah,
thing.
yeah.
I don't know
Yep,
what it's called.
yep.
And it was like an old log cabin, and the floor was like dirt and moss and grass. And so it's a pretty dark vision. Is essentially my family was bleeding out after I had murdered them all, and I was standing in the grass in my bare feet in the blood and the grass. And
That made
but
total
that
sense.
I know
Yep.
is just one of yeah, many.
Right.
Um yeah, I will never forget that vision. It was just like and it wasn't a big house. It wasn't. It was very small, a small like log cabin, like the bed. Like I
Yep.
remember seeing the bed and the body, like, you know,
Wow.
and and I had my guides with me, and they were just like, just take it in, just take it in.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, and so I tapped on that, and ever since then, grass has been surprisingly better.
Oh, good. Good, good, good. Yeah, I mean, they keep
Yeah.
saying now that we can clear karma like this now, clear the past like that. So that's the good news about it all, about all these new energy changes. Let's see, before this thing cuts me off, I think what we're gonna do is we'll do like we did last time. We'll end here and then we'll go to just continue on the next one. So you want to come back in like 2 seconds, 2 minutes?
Yeah,
All right.
absolutely.
So we will be right back because I know this thing's gonna end in a second and we're gonna just be cut off in mid talk. So I'm gonna reconvene with Twyla in just a second. Okay, we'll see you all in a second. Okay.
Bye.
See you in a minute. Bye for now.